Top of the morning, eh? How we doing, Producer Brooke?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. Welcome to the Sills Show. We've been talking a lot about how America basically is being destroyed by a group of dead guys. A group of dead guys who created a system which, in the words of Rudolph Flesch, is foolproof. Pretty much foolproof. This system, the public school system, has destroyed hundreds of millions of lives, is contributing to much of the degradation of our cities and even rural and suburban areas. It wages a war on intelligence, has made our literacy rate unbelievably low for a developed country, has made it so we are incapable of applying math to real lives. We forget our history, we forget the values which built America, and we are not interested in science, just as Edward Thorndike said we wouldn't be, because he knew that in order to have the utopia, supposedly, you would have to dumb people down. Which, as a fun note, the original utopians like Plato and Thomas More were for slavery. They believed that utopia would be possible with slavery. You don't hear about that much from the Democratic Socialists of America now, do you? The wonderful DSA, you don't hear much about how slavery is going to be necessary. Of course, utopia is impossible either way, but it just shows that it's, people thought it would be possible only with slavery. But anyway, what is the situation today? Well, the situation today is dire. I feel like America is being eroded every single day. The founding values are being destroyed. The founding fathers are spinning in their graves. However, there is always maybe hope. So I believe the short-term solution against this massive, gargantuan, horrific system called public school, which is tied to the establishment in Washington these days and the elite universities, like the ones that did the behavioral teacher study in the 1960s, where they said they were going to use mass media systematically and use government to control kids. All these people, the number one short-term solution is going to be homeschooling, which we've talked about quite a bit. Homeschooling is the key. Homeschooling brings out joy in kids. Not only do they get better grades, which, I don't really care about that much, but they are found to be more tolerant people. We've gone over this before. More tolerant, more politically, less polarized, more open-minded. They're basically the opposite of everything the media says they will be, the homeschooled kids. And while you're at it, they're also very literate. They're good at math. They can apply it to real life. They know why math is useful, which seems to be something why almost no one knows why math is actually applicable to real life, or even how. They know this. The homeschooled kids know this. They know the history. They know America's founding values. They know how important they are. They know America. But we don't do that in schools because the whole purpose of schools is the utopia, and for a utopia you have to forget your history. You have to forget those old-fashioned values which are supposedly so unimportant in favor of these new values like slavery. But I guess we're not talking about that much. And but beyond that short-term solution of homeschooling, which obviously not everyone can do, and maybe some good private schools here and there, maybe some charter schools, school choice can help, but homeschooling is really going to be where it's at. But beyond that, to take down the system, to save America, is going to take a lot more than homeschooling your kids. And I get that it's not going to be popular. Listen, if we try to save America, the media is going to push back like crazy because they were meant to be an extension of the school system. If you look at the Frankfurt School and other groups, the media was supposed to be an extension. The indoctrination is an extension of the school system, not a new thing. So it's not going to be easy. The media will be constantly against us, and change will not come easily, because the enemy is a system, a rogue system, which has no accountability and is almost, it's like the robots in like Terminator or Alien or all those other movies where the computer is functioning completely independently of anyone else. The school system is unaccountable, and the administrators are just maintaining it. They're not doing anything. They're not adding or subtracting anything. The school system is just the school system. It's going to almost act like a person because it's operating like a computer. Just trying to get towards that utopia, whether it's dumbing kids down, whether it's indoctrinating them, taking away their free time, anything, separating them from their parents, separating them from any cultural influences, everything that can happen is for the utopia.
Because utopia is possible with socialism. Socialism will solve all of our problems.
Indeed. It always comes in something new. It was collectivism, communism, socialism, now it's democratic socialism, it was fascism somewhere thrown in there. It's all the same thing. It's all trying to get a perfect society for whatever your group is, to have an elite which controls everything. That's been the core of every utopian philosophy. And it's the core behind our public school system. You have all the boarding schools and the elite private schools for the kids of the politicians and influencers, and then you have everyone else who's got to be dumbed down. So in order to destroy this system, it will not be easy. It will take decades, probably longer than I will even live, to get rid of this system or somehow reform it into something. It will take influencing the school boards, for instance, getting some superintendents, everything you can think of. Just wait, and the tactics are not going to be nice. It's not going to be like, oh, let's just debate the ideas with the head of the NEA and AFT, which were instrumental in making this utopian school system. No, you can't do that. These people are not, these are not good people. These people couldn't care less about your kids. They could not care less about your values, about your family values. They want to destroy them. The NEA, the AFT, all these other organizations for the utopia, for that elusive utopia. They couldn't care less about any of that. So we need to destroy these people. We need to break the unions, to break the establishment, the Department of Education, which is supporting these. We need to stop these elitist universities, stop the school boards from being sheep, from doing nothing real, for having no autonomy. We need to get education back in the hands of the local school boards, away from the nationalization and even internationalization of education, the UN, UNESCO, all those groups.
We need to teach phonics.
Get good reading.
Instead of whole word.
And in the school districts that do phonics, oh my gosh, the kids know how to read.
Wow, must be a coincidence.
Of course, it's a coincidence, right? So
whole word is obviously superior.
Right. I mean, just listen to John Dewey. So I don't claim to have all the answers, but the problem, I think we've done a pretty good job of outlining, and of course we'll do it again and again. The problem is immense, the problem is massive, and we need to tear down this system, because this system contributes to the depression of kids, the suicide rates of kids. You know, I don't like when people say, oh, producer Brooke, the economy grew by 3% this quarter.
Gasp!
You know what else grew this quarter? The illiteracy rate, the dumbing down in schools, the homicide rates, the suicide rates, the mental health crisis, the drug epidemic.
Because, surprise, surprise, when you make kids go from class to class doing worksheet after worksheet, day after day, month after month, year after year, they're not going to be super happy.
No, they're not. And especially if you interrupt them with bells and drills and questions, if you interrupt them and break down things like their attention spans, break down their ability to play, break down their biological instinct to like learning. Did you know that? You have a biological instinct to like learning. It's scientific. Well, did you ever, if you think back to when you were in school, did you ever feel that in school? If you did, was it very often? Sure as heck hasn't been for me. Maybe I felt it once or twice, okay, it's fair enough. But I barely feel it. Now, on the outside world, outside of those brick buildings, outside of those penitentiaries, I feel it all the time when I'm doing research, when I'm reading, when I'm watching videos, anything. I feel that biological urge all the time, because I guess mine hasn't been completely destroyed yet. But so many kids' biological urge to like learning is destroyed by school. Their creativity, their free thinking, their individuality, their liberty, into this false freedom, this false fake freedom where we are governed by a group of elitists. Alright, I think that's gonna be, I think I've said almost everything I've wanted to say. But basically, this system is not gonna be easy to take down. But you know what? 244 years ago, our founding fathers literally put their necks on the line. Not just the founding fathers, patriots all over America put their necks on the line so that maybe we could be free from Great Britain. So I think it's our job to save America now. Alright, that I think is going to be about it for today. I think I've said pretty much everything I wanted to get to. So please do subscribe and like the video. Like it. You know, I want you to manhandle that like button until it turns blue. Make it blue. Yeah. And a subscribe button. Again, manhandle it till it turns white. You need to whack it. Okay. I don't know what I'm going on about here.
I don't either. Why don't you just wrap it up?
All right. Email is jbsocial@gmail.com if you have any questions. You can follow us on Twitter down below. Until next time, I have been your host, JB.
And I've been producer Brooke.
And we are signing off.